is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Fine. Chad Ocho Cinco says, I won't beg to make the Hall of Fame. Same stats as Michael Irvin. Chad Johnson says he doesn't give a damn if he ever gets into the Hall of Fame, but he clearly thinks he should. My number and Michael Irvin's numbers are exactly the same, Chad told the Athletic podcast. Irvin was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2007, 750 catches, 11,904 yards, 65 touchdowns in 12 seasons. Chad Ocho Cinco played 11 years, 766 catches, 11,059 yards, and 67 touchdowns. Irvin has 3 rings. Chad has 0. And he goes, are we letting people in the Hall of Fame for rings? The goalpost moves depending on who is the individual. The goalpost moves on what the accolades and what it means to get there. Ain't got time to play that game, man. And here's the issue I have with all of this. Okay? You saw those stats, right? And I tell you, okay, so Chad Ocho Cinco, does he deserve to get into the Hall of Fame with those stats? And he doesn't have 11,000 yards, but he has 9,000 yards, and that's Mark Clayton, 8,974 yards. Now, he has 84 touchdowns. So less yards, but he has more touchdowns than Michael Irvin and Chad Johnson. I'm just saying, right? 84 touchdowns to, where are we at here? Oh, I lost the page now. Back again. 84 touchdowns to 67 and 65. So he has 19 touchdowns more than those guys. That's a lot. Now they have 2,000 more yards than he does. That's a lot too. 11 seasons. What did Mark Clayton play? I don't know if he played 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 exactly. Exactly 11. I don't know. What do you do? Because Mark Clayton and Mark Duper aren't making the Hall of Fame. And in my eyes, they're easily Hall of Famers. In my eyes, Mark Clayton and Mark Duper are better than Chad Johnson. I saw all of them play. I watched every year of those guys play. Chad, Mark Clayton, Mark Duper. The Marx brothers are better. They don't have rings either. But if I tell you Mark Clayton or Chad Johnson, it's not even close. Mark Clayton, when he was playing, was second to Jerry Rice. That's it. When he was with Marino and balling, Mark Clayton was the second best receiver in the league in my book. I don't know. They don't make the Hall of Fame. Does Chad Johnson make the Hall of Fame? It's interesting. Now, if we have what's it called? What's that term that people use? That it's it's like fresh memory, but they can't think of the past. What's it called?
Selective memory?
No, not selective memory. It's not selective memory. It's prisoners of the moment. If we're prisoners of the moment and we're thinking about Chad because he's, recently retired, what is it, 7 years, 6 years, whatever it is, that he's retired. So Mark Clayton retired freaking 30 years ago. I don't know how long it is, 20-some years, 30 years. I don't know what it was. What was his last year? 93. So, yeah, it's almost 30 years ago, actually. It's 27. So the recent bias is there for Chad Johnson, and it won't be there for Mark Clayton. Did Mark Clayton get a ring late in his career? No, he did not. I think wait a minute. Let me see. No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Because in Green Bay, he was there before they had success. So no, it certainly didn't get one in Miami. So no. Ocho Cinco has no rings and benefited more statistically from a passer-friendly NFL era. Stats don't give accurate comparison. Mike, can't argue with that. Can't argue with that, my brother. You are correct, sir. Sometimes you are a product of your system. And look, Chad Ocho Cinco is a hell of a receiver. I'm not going to take that away from the guy. Hall of Famer? Wow. It's a borderline thing. I got to think about it. That means he's not in. For me, Mark Clayton, that's a Hall of Famer, bro. That's a Hall of Famer. That was a dominant dude.
The way that Chad ends his career, it just really fell off. There was nothing near his better years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that happens to a lot of receivers, a lot of players as they run out of gas. So that's not fair either, you know what I mean?
Then there's also these off-the-field stuff, and it just, when you couple that together with his pompous, arrogant, wearing a Hall of Fame jacket on the side, you know,
I got you.
It just, when you put it all together, you know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff that comes to the forefront that's negative.
He had 7 1,000-yard seasons. He had 1, 2, 3, 4, 13 plus 100-yard seasons, 13 or 1,400. He had 4 of those. He crossed double digits in touchdowns just once in 03 at 10. He hit 9 3 other times in his career. And the New England, obviously, experience was terrible for him. He caught 4 touchdowns his last year in Cincinnati. He had 831 yards that year, but he had 1,047 the year before that, then had 540, and then 1,440, 1,369, 1,432, 1,274, 1,355, 1,166, and then 329 his rookie year. It's great numbers, man. Great numbers. I mean, it's hard to argue that he, you know,
there's a case for the guy. You can
make an argument that he belongs in the Hall of Fame.
But
I think he's kind of a borderline guy. I think I call him like he's like an all-star, but not, he's like a Pro Bowler, but not an all-star, in other words. It's kind of the kind of way I look at him. I just think that but again, I know I'm using my bias a little bit, but to me, Mark Clayton is a no-brainer Hall of Famer as dominant as he was. So that's why I would put him there. And if you're not going to put Clayton, I have a hard time putting, if you're not going to put Clayton in there, I have a hard time putting Johnson in there. That's just kind of the way I am. Scott Sekulis was better than Ocho Cinco. There you go. Mark's brothers deserve to be in Hall of Fame, and Zach. There you go. Got no problem with that. I'm with Bill. I can't stand Chad Okie Dokie.
The situation with the not throwing the receipt away, his Hall of Fame jacket thing on the sideline.
He's an entertainer, bro. He was having fun.
And then finding out afterwards that Chad doesn't like to pick up the check.
He didn't.
But then he went and made that huge tip that one time.
He's done it a lot, actually. He's left a lot of good tips. He's done it a lot.
Yeah, but remember we had somebody that said that the guy doesn't he shies away from
I don't know.
Picking up the tab.
Well, that was Pippen, I think. That was one. But anyway, what's it called? The guy really never was in trouble. He was acting like a clown. He got in trouble when he got to the Dolphins. And he didn't really play for the Dolphins because it never really happened. He played for New England. It was the Bengals, and he had an offseason. He was here for a couple of weeks and then had the headbutting incident with Lozada, and he was done. And so that's it. It was over for him. But overall, he was never really a trouble guy. He was a fun guy. That's what he was. I can't hold that against him. I would call him a borderline guy, and I would say no.